my son, I didn't know you was gonna make it.
What's with it, dog? So good to see you, man. I got in last night.
I just got here.
G-Bo.
You got money, you know what I'm saying? You the old head now. You gotta see, Pat gonna take the #1 guy, you know what I'm saying? And take all that pressure. You need somebody like that. Pat gonna handle that. Well, Ross gonna handle the other.
No-fly zone secondary. Let's give it up for this group right here.
Talent don't win chips, man. Vibes win chips. Yes, hey, get on their ass tomorrow, man. Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Broncos!
We already knew what time it was with New England, bro.
When y'all both got hurt, that really messed me up because I was like, I don't know who I'm talking to over there.
Uh-oh. Feel like we walking to the game, man. It's game day.
We said tonight, we said, hey, we getting 2 15s a game, fam. We need 2 15s, us.
Malik gonna get one for sure every game.
Then it's gonna be
Just
Stu,
chalk it
Bud,
up.
me, or
Just
just
chalk
gonna
it
be
up, one of us.
Some of us established some dominance. The Wade was cool with that.
I used to come by this and get goosebumps. I'm telling you, I used to come get goosebumps every time. Oh, I am in the NFL.
They don't want these corners doing what they do best.
Dripping, baby.
No fly zone in the building.
No fly, Super Bowl 50.
Definitely defense wins championships.
Pass deflected and intercepted. Denver's gonna win this.
Our field, our show. Our field, our show.
The origin of no fly, it was a moniker, right? It's always been a little moniker around football and secondaries, but no one, took it and owned it as their own. And we did that not only by the attitude, but, our production on the field. But I'd have to say the first person to start screaming and yelling it was Chris.
We were always trying to do some marketing for me, trying to figure out ways I could get my name out there because I was undrafted. I'm balling, but people still don't know who I am. And I always went like this. That was always my celebration, And my wife was like, oh, well, maybe we could try to find something to kind of market it. And we just came up with no fly zone.
One day Chris just came up like, hey, y'all, look, when y'all in the media and when y'all talking to people, hey, we no fly. We no fly. We gonna do this right here, no fly everything. That's gonna be our motto. And then, me, I'm lead, so I'm a push it. We no fly, say no more.
He's an undrafted guy, that was kind of looked past a lot in his career. So he's the one that's trying to, and I credit Chris for that, because it's like he was smart enough to put a name on us because we were balling.
I never played with a bunch of dogs on one team, man. Like, we were special. When you look at the film, the film don't lie. Like, we were a special group, man, all around.
Yeah, I like the no-fly zone nickname. So many great defenses have a nickname, and I think that's an appropriate name. For me, as a quarterback, I can promise you it was tough for all the NFL quarterbacks in the passing game, in the run game.
I think all the different personalities in the secondary helped us on the field. It was the confidence of the team.
You think about Chris Harris, you think about underdog, undrafted, free agent.
I remember when I was in Cleveland, seeing Chris and like, hey, this 2.5 is pretty good. I don't know where he came from, but he's scrappy. He's making plays, he talking trash.
Probably the smartest corner I have ever played with. Film study, understanding concepts, knowing where to be, knowing what other people's roles are.
Everybody had a personality. Everybody had a role. To lead being physical, having interceptions, taking them back to the house.
Natural dog, right? Just understands the game, very smart, very intellectual, great ball skills.
The way that Akeem approached the game was big for our group. He brought that, that bully mindset.
I had to be the tone setter. I gotta be the one, man, who volunteered to guard this guy or talk a little noise to their best player.
He's that lockdown, yo one versus R1 type guy. We needed somebody to travel, leave, go get him.
Darius Stewart.
He was an enforcer back there.
And he not gonna say much. He gonna hit you and get up and walk back to the huddle. I'm gonna come over talking. Oh, you didn't know who hit you? That was Stu.
Shovel pass ahead, Tolbert has it, and he is blasted by Darius Stewart.
The running back feared him. Stu had a big head, so he was always laying that hammer on him, man.
TJ Ward, I knew he'd bring that physicality and that dog that we needed to the secondary and to the defense, period.
Bridgewater drops the throw, being pressured, and down he goes, back inside the 30. That was TJ Ward.
TJ played right beside me a lot in a dime and playing backer, and then also his range at safety, him being an impact player back there.
We'll talk about Roby, a young guy. I remember when we were at the bowling alley when Roby got drafted, and everybody was geeked. Like, oh, we're going to eat with Roby.
Way more physical than someone would anticipate, and he'll catch you slipping on any given day. Roby's also man-to-man coverage was impressive as well.
Intercepted. That is Bradley Roby who makes the interception, and he is up running.
When it was time to make a play and be dialed in, Robe, he was that guy, man. He was that X factor that, caused a lot of turnovers.
It wasn't just the starters, the starter 4, or even the 5, right? It was the whole guys in that secondary that made key plays for us to win.
Brute on the inside, my dime dog.
Deep drop, looks for a place to throw it. He gets an open receiver who makes the catch and then takes a wicked shot from David Bruton Jr.
Covering a lot of the tight ends, playing safety, because we played a lot of dime. We had 3 safeties on the field a lot of times.
We knew what D. Stu would be doing. Chris would be doing, Akeem, Roby, Kayvon if he came in, Omar. We became such a tight-knit group that we could interchange positions. There was just this form of communication that just flowed organically throughout that defense, throughout that secondary that made us very successful.
I think that is the key of the no-fly zone. There's nobody that's lacking, and we're all dominant.
Chris and his wife came with the name. We just ran with it.
As we started really locking up and creating turnovers and winning games, it just became more evident that, we had to own it every week.
It just stuck naturally, and it made perfect sense.
Everybody took on that persona, and I think it's official. Everybody knows that we're the true no-fly zone.
We held each other accountable, and that translated to good play on the field, and that translated to everybody remembering the no-fly zone. And I knew I wanted to go to the NFL as long as I could remember. I tell people that all the time. I got into it with my 4th grade teacher. We had to write an essay on what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I wrote an essay about going to the NFL. And Miss Kylie said, well, great essay, Akeem, but I wanted everyone to do something more realistic. And I said, Miss Kylie, just because you didn't reach your dreams don't mean I won't reach my dreams. You know what I'm saying? She get out of my class.
Growing up in Bixby, Oklahoma, a lot of my family, they were either playing sports or they were doing rodeo stuff and, dealing with horses and things like that, very country. So I took the sports route, and it worked out great for me.
I did so well catching the ball, playing receiver in high school that my coach saw fit to move me to safety.
I played receiver all the way up until my senior year. My high school coach came to me and he was just like, I think you're a good receiver, but I think you could be a better DB. Why don't you try playing DB this year?
Senior year of high school, going for my 3rd pick of the year, and I broke my leg. Oregon was a school that we had some ties to our dean of students. So I took a year off, walked on the next fall, and earned a scholarship my 2nd year.
Meeting Chris, he kind of came into KU like I came into KU, just ready to compete against everybody. So that's what made me gravitate to him. That's what made me really like his play.
I was able to get a lot of action because he was an All-American. I was a true freshman. We had a nice defense, and that's a lot of the reasons why when we look back at it is why we won the Orange Bowl.
On 2nd and 9, Taylor's pass intercepted by Akeem Talib.
Nobody thought Little Kansas was gonna come in there and beat Virginia Tech.
That was the knock on us. They ain't played nobody. And I think just that early play, it jolted that confidence into our whole team.
2nd pick of the game, it's Chris Harris, the freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma.
We just always fed off each other, and we were able to mesh our playing styles together and win BCS championship in college, and then also be able to have success in the NFL together. Seeing Keith get drafted, seeing him go 1st round, that definitely gave motivation. Me coming out of college, it was completely different. We had the lockout, and it was just an unfortunate situation. We couldn't communicate with the team. I went undrafted, and usually after the draft, they already choose the undrafted players. I had to wait until the lockout was lifted, and then I got a call from the Broncos.
First time I met Chris Harris Jr. was in training camp of 2011. Chris is one of the first people that I really connected with. It's funny looking back on it now because Chris was the guy saying, man, I hope I make the team.
I had my mindset that I wasn't gonna leave, I wasn't gonna get cut. I told my mom, I told my family I wasn't coming home.
I always kind of gravitated to the old heads when I was a younger player. Brian Dawkins, Champ Bailey, they took me under their wing. They taught me how to study film. They taught me how to go about my business in the weight room, go about my business in practice.
Man, having Champ, watching him, watching his technique, his fundamentals, how he approached every day, that helped me out a lot. And it gave me a boost of confidence. When you have Andre Goodman, Champ, Doc, and these guys want you to play, they want you out there on the field with them, man. That gives you a lot of motivation.
2011, that defense, obviously, that's when Chris found his footing, right?
Two receivers on each side of the formation. Denver needs to get off the field on defense. Three-man rush. Palmer sets, throws, pass too high, deflected, intercepted. Chris Harris. Chris Harris has got the ball. The college free agent, his first career interception.
That was a huge turning point, I think, for our team in that season, too, because after that game, I think we got rolling. We had to come together fast, you know, with me and Von being the younger guys. We had great D-line, great backers with DJ Williams, Woodyard, a very physical defense. So it was great for me to come in there and play with those veterans, to finish strong, be able to win a playoff game.
The crowd has lost their mind. It is over.
I'm very excited to begin the next chapter of my playing career for the Denver Broncos. And this truly is a special football environment, and I am glad to be a part of it.
Oh, the pressure went up. It was pretty much Super Bowl or bust every year.
I got drafted in 2012. The first person to text me is Peyton Manning. Hey, Omar Bolden, congratulations on being drafted. Let's go win a Super Bowl.
He was a perfectionist in practice. It wasn't a day we didn't have one-on-ones because Peyton had to do his one-on-ones.
Peyton over here one day in practice, brute. I know when you're coming down to drop it cover 1 or cover 3. You see me for a training camp and you can already pick up my tendencies.
How close he paid attention to detail, it made me do it. It made me go home and look at little stuff on the iPad and go out to practice earlier. Just watching him go about his day, I feel like it cranked me up even more.
For us on offense, going against that defense every day in practice made us better. I remember completing passes on Aqib Talib, and I'm kind of saying, wow, it's not going to be any tighter than that in the game on Sunday.
With Peyton, I knew I had to get out of my breaks faster because the ball was going to come out on time. Just things like that just helped me improve to where I could kind of be an extension of a coach out there on the field.
Chris Harris, he is walking into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. Wow, there's the dagger. Denver will kick it off as we are set for an AFC divisional matchup. The winner, of course, moves on to the AFC Championship.
I think that's probably one of our better teams. Our O-line was amazing, D-line was ready. One mistake, man, one mistake can ruin a whole season.
Snap to Flacco. He steps up in the pocket, throws a deep ball right side. The receiver is there, makes the catch, and is going to score. That is unbelievable.
That game definitely hurts. It still haunts me still this day. One little slip up like that can ruin a whole season.
Dominating performance by the Seattle Seahawks as they have dismantled the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 48.
It gave me a lot of motivation, you know, not being able to play in that Super Bowl. We felt embarrassed, you know, watching that on the sideline, and that was our goal, to come back and be dominant. It took us a couple of years to get back there, but we were able to fight and use that as motivation to ultimately win the Super Bowl.
I saw the shift towards defense right after the Super Bowl 48 loss.
Definitely made a bang, and whenever you can bring that many guys over, I mean, that's a steal, you know, and Elway was able to do that.
We signed DeMarcus Ware, TJ Ward, Aqib Talib, and we had Bradley Roby, and as a young gun, it was crazy.
I'm a competitive person, so I want to go somewhere who can win and I can get this bag. So I really thought it was going to be New England. I got the call from Denver. It was more guaranteed money in Denver. Peyton Manning was in Denver, so I knew we had a great chance to win. So I ain't mad at the decision.
It's a pleasure for me to introduce to you our newest Bronco, TJ Ward.
We all have leadership qualities, and we could help this defense and this team. I think you see with Seattle's defense last year that it definitely defense wins championships. So,
being a kid that dreamed of being in the NFL and finally making it, and then being on this team with greats, you know, I had to immediately come in and raise the bar.
4th and 6 Colts from the Denver 39, 31-24 Denver. Three-man rush, Luck steps in the pocket, throws, pass deflected away, incomplete. Bradley Roby knocked it away from Reggie Wayne. And Denver is gonna hang on for a hard-fought win.
That's something that I kind of took with me the rest of my career, that when the game was on the line, Roby gonna show up and make a play.
Coming here in 2014, I learned that nothing happens overnight, no matter how much talent you have. I think that was our biggest problem that year. So we had the talent, but we were just all over the place.
And the Indianapolis Colts have shocked the Denver Broncos. Final score, the Colts 24, the Broncos 13.
New group of guys. We had to get the camaraderie down. You know, that first year taught me that these games are gonna come down to the end, and you gotta be locked in all the way.
The 2015 offseason had a lot to do with it. Got off work at 11, 12, and we hung out till 5 p.m. till the wives was mad. We really built that chemistry in that offseason following that year.
There's not a greater honor for me than to introduce Gary Kubiak as our 15th head coach.
Motivation always starts with the head coach, but I think one of the things I've learned, you've got to let you've got great coaches on your staff. You got to give them a chance to get in front of your team, to be a part of that process on a regular basis. It can't always be about you. And then obviously your football team is motivated from the leadership. You know, that starts at the top.
Yeah, the next year we got Wade Phillips and Coach Cool. You know, they changed the entire culture of the team.
Me becoming a free agent, I was in Baltimore at the time, and over there with Coach Kubiak. And over there we built a great relationship, man. We both became free agents at the right time, and you know, he was able to connect with me and told me to keep Denver on my mind, and everything aligned at the perfect time.
I think kind of a little bit of a bully down there. You know, it's a strong presence down there.
Every position is full with somebody we feel like can be a Pro Bowl or an All-Pro. So we got the guys, but I keep saying that talent don't win nothing. You gotta have a great scheme, you gotta have great camaraderie. And I think, man, Wade was just the icing on the cake. He put us all in the perfect position, and I think it was the perfect coordinator for that group of guys.
We evaluate everybody from last year off the film of last year, but you don't always know what they were asked to do in certain situations. So you get an idea on overall ability, but until you get them with you and working with you, you then realize what their abilities are, what their strengths are, and then certainly we play to their strengths. So now overall, obviously we've got some talented players on defense, but we got to get them to play really well together and very aggressive.
Wade definitely put you in the best position, because honestly, I didn't play nickel in college. He put me there, you know, at safety and let me move around and make me realize I could do more than just playing outside.
My thing with Coach Phillips was that he gave me a chance. Like, I was only seen as a special teams guy, as a plug-in player if somebody got hurt. At the end of training camp, they went with these students like, Brute, we're gonna get you on the field. You're gonna be on the field. You're like my third linebacker.
You know, he was boosting confidence, right? If guys didn't play well, Wade was like, hey man, I believe in you. And he made us more of aggressive style.
Very excited about the position, and I know that Wade will put these guys in. He's really very simple, gonna do what they do best.
He just made it real simple. He was just like Vaughn and D-Ware go get him, Chris, Akeem Talib, Bradley Roby, Dwayne Stewart, TJ Ward, y'all just guard him up, and then boom, everything took off.
Just like having like a big cousin or a favorite uncle that just encourage you to be your best self.
He was just a carefree guy, you know, kind of like everyone's granddad, you know what I mean?
He was always around the players. He coming in the locker room, we playing music, he dancing, got his hat backwards. He can do that and then get serious, and we can handle business.
They are all on their feet waving orange pom-poms. It's a great sight as we approach the opening of the 2015 regular season. As the Bronco defense on the field first, everybody is talking about them this season. What kind of defense will they be? You figure they're going to be able to pressure the quarterback.
Let's go, Stu. Talking all day, communicating all day, getting the looks all day. We do that, we gravy, fam.
You know, I think the Baltimore game, I think that set the precedent, right?
Flacco from the gun, pressure, throws on the run. Talib's got the interception. Talib is loose.
The play against the Ravens, the first game of the season, it was another film study play. Flacco had a little pressure, so that was kind of his bailout route. It was almost his check down, was just throw this 5-yard in to Steve. But I was on it, man. But only reason I don't play wide out is because I don't like depending on people to get me the ball. So on defense, I can get the ball myself, and then my wide out instinct catch in, and I can go to the cribs.
Hey, this it, Chris. That's what we need right here, bro. This the D right here.
Holy cow, 36 seconds on the clock. Denver in the game, up 6. Pressure, blitz on the way. Flacco, close one for Gilmore. Gilmore is battled for and intercepted. Gilmore was covered by David Bruton. The ball was deflected, and Darian Stewart with a pick in the end zone. And a great pick it was.
We made the plays that were necessary to, you know, put up points on the board and keep points off the board. And I think that sets the demeanor for the rest of the season. It's like, hey, if we're on the field on that last drive in this 2 minutes, we know we are able to handle it if we're in a tight spot.
You guys now know you can win a freaking game like you won today. You got me? Physically, you can line up and win a game. It's one of the greatest defensive football games I've ever been a part of. Defensively, we're outstanding, tremendous, okay? Take care of your bodies. We got a few jog throughs, and then we got a big game to go win in Kansas City.
That first game, I think D. Stu caught the pick in the end zone. I think that just started it, and then it happened the very next week.
Shotgun for Alex Smith. I think this has got to be a handoff, don't you? It is. Jamal Charles, and he runs head first. And the ball's knocked free, and the ball is picked up. Bradley Roby picks up the fumble and scores.
It was just kind of one of those places where I was just living right, man. I was playing hard. We thought they were going to kneel it, and they decided to run the ball, and Brandon Marshall just made a play, and I was alert. Once again, it was just another moment where these games are going to get decided at the end, and then how locked in you are is going to matter on who wins or who doesn't.
Looks like this game is over, and just when you think the Broncos defense can't do any more than they're doing in this football game or in this season, they find a way to yet again create a turnover, and this time put points on the board.
Hey, they don't believe we great. We gonna show them tonight. Sunday Night Football, the whole world watching. Make plays, dominate on three. 1, 2, 3.
Stafford, quick throw over the middle, pass deflected and intercepted by David Bruton. Bruton got one hand on it, deflected it, and then gathered it in.
Our number was called a lot in those first 4 games, and we had to go out there and answer the bell.
You're battling. Somebody got to make a play. Brew, where you at?
Great job, fellas. Team win. Great job.
Vikings 2-1 as they come into today's tilt. The Broncos, of course, are 3-0.
Fourth quarter, they got the ball, they're down 3, they're driving. A situation we've been in 4 weeks already.
Denver, 5-man rush. Here comes TJ Ward. Ward has him, strips the football. The ball is free.
I hit him real hard in his chest and on that throwing arm, and I knew the ball had to come out. Fumble, game winning. Vaughn recovered it again at the end of the game. Defense saves the day.
Hey, man, I couldn't have done it without y'all, man. I love playing with y'all. I love the way we play. We fight. Grimy, we dirty dogs, man. We come out here and we get
Welcome to O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. The Broncos look to extend their 2015 record to 5-0.
Defense, keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to change a thing. They are flying around and having fun.
It was pretty early on that it's like, okay, we seen that we're going to have to be special. We're scoring against Baltimore, scoring against Kansas. We're scoring a lot.
Man, it was a few games like that year. Raider game, they're going down the drive. Chris gets the pick 6.
Carr in the gun. Blitz on the way. Carr, quick throw. He's going to be intercepted. Chris Harris Jr. in the foot race. He's going to take it the distance, 70 yards on the interception return.
That's the second football game we've won this year without an offensive touchdown. Defense is spectacular. I got one ball. Where's 25 at?
Hey, man, AFC West Championship, baby. That's all I got to say.
Denver Broncos will take their perfect record on the road here in Cleveland.
Yeah, the Cleveland game. That was huge for me coming back to the team that drafted me. Like, there's no way I'm going to come back to Cleveland and lose to the Browns.
Consecutive sacks by this Bronco defense may bail Denver out.
Knock them out of field goal range, and they end up having to punt. So another time where we stood up on defense to, seal the game. That year was amazing.
On the year, Rodgers, he's thrown for 1,491 yards, 15 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. So it'll be a great test for this Broncos defense tonight.
The Green Bay Packers, they were riding high coming in. We were riding high coming in. It was a big game.
I think the top-rated offense versus top-rated defense at that time.
Aaron Rodgers came here into Mile High on fire.
We just really lined up across the board, man-to-man, post-high safety, and played defense.
He's bouncing around, he throws a ball incomplete at the 40. Great coverage by this Broncos secondary. The Packers have to punt it away.
We completely shut that 6-0 team out. We literally dominated that game.
Lacey pulls away from a couple of defenders and fumbles the football in the process.
Chris Harris Jr. went for the football.
Rodgers harassed all night, 14 of 22 for 77 yards.
We thought we would win and do well, but 70 yards.
In the no-fly zone, they just dominated that game. And I knew then that we had a championship defense.
After that game, I think the confidence of the Broncos defense being able to lead us to a championship, regardless what the offense do, I think that game kind of stamped it right there. So that led to a lot of what we did the remainder of that season.
Tonight, the Denver Broncos face the unbeaten New England Patriots.
Now, that #1 seed was very important. Lost a couple games, and we knew that the Patriots, they'd be there.
I'm not sure we're going to see him again tonight, as he isn't able to put any weight on his right leg.
It's so important for us to win this game. I remember not being on the same page with Aqib Talib and him getting at me. Bro, this is serious.
That's what really made no-fly zone the no-fly zone, man. We all held each other accountable. When you act like that, when you lead like that, it translates to the field.
Great win. Excited for the football team. Played hard. Everybody pitched in.
The good thing about the NFL is you have a game like the Broncos did last week in Pittsburgh. It was a disappointing game on so many levels. You tend to forget about that and you focus on what's next.
Those 2 games at the end of the season got my focus back up because I gave up touchdowns. I was kind of putting the blame on me.
First off, getting into the playoffs in the National Football League is a hell of an accomplishment. Once you get there, it's about how you play, not really where you play. But we got a great opportunity this weekend.
A bye week plus 2 home games, that's how we envisioned it at the beginning of the season. So it was super important. We feel like we did our part. The Dolphins helped us out a little bit.
Shout out to New England for, dropping the ball in Miami.
It was a big game. We had to beat Phillip Rivers and them Chargers to get it.
Manning in a victory formation will take a knee. The Broncos are the #1 seed in the AFC.
Hey, they gotta come through Denver now, man. We gotta play way better though.
When we got home for advantage, I was like, all right, turn my TV off, turn my phone off. I'm committing myself all the way for this team, for this city.
We were playing 2 teams. One, we lost to already. And then the second one was them, right? The Patriots, Tom Brady.
But to have New England here versus Denver having to go there, for Bronco fans, it's an enormous difference.
For some reason, they've had our number there, but we've always had their number here in Mile High.
The energy at our stadium was second to none. We knew we can drag anybody in here, man, and drown them.
I feel we have the greatest home field advantage in the NFL with our fans, and when they get turned up and it's 3rd down and no fly is out there, good luck, man. You're not getting that 1st down.
Quick throw left side, Wheaton has it, and TJ Ward has in for a loss, back at the 19. Denver's defense forces a 3-and-out. Punt time for the Steelers. Omar Bolden is back deep. Good to see him back after the injury. Line drive effort.
Everybody was huge for our team. Omar being a key punt returner.
Bolden, watch the ball, hits at the 34, now goes back and feels it on the bounce at the 28, steps out of a tackle to the 30, heads to the west sideline, and here we go. 40, 45, Bolden in midfield. He's in.
That punt return in the playoffs against the Steelers is one of my favorite plays. I could feel Aqib on the sideline, and for him to be one of the first guys to come up and give me some love after that, that was huge, man.
Camaraderie means team. A vibe means we a team. We gelling, we laughing, we playing together. Those kind of vibes win games, and we had a ton of that going on that Super Bowl 50 team.
2 plays from the Steeler 20 to the Bronco 40, the last of which went 13 yards. First down Pittsburgh with 10:53 left. They've got a 1-point lead.
At that moment, I felt we were losing it. We were losing hope. We were down by a little bit. They were driving the score. The fans was quiet. I was just a person that always focused on the ball. I just want to take the ball from you, and give it back to the offense.
Toussaint to the right of Roethlisberger, takes the handoff running left. He's got a first down, and the ball's not free.
All I saw was the ball, and I just went for it, and it was a clean hit. DeMarcus fell on it, and then when that happened, everything's right in front of us again. We're right down the score.
Peyton quickly hands it off C.J. Anderson. C.J. to the goal line, to the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. Denver wins it. They advance to the AFC Championship game, where they will face the New England Patriots. Work to be done here in Denver today as the Patriots and the Broncos renew a rivalry that in postseason has been one of the best.
We finna play the Patriots AFC Championship game. We already beat these guys once. It was a dog fight. We know it's gonna be a dog fight.
It was the biggest game of our career. The confidence that we had going into that game, we were like brothers, going into battle. We knew we had each other backs.
We had a lot of, bouts between Tom Brady, and this was, him in his prime with all his guys.
They had so many ways they can attack you. They can get in 10 personnel and have wideouts everywhere. They can get in 2 tight ends and play you in 12. They could bring the fullback in. They could run the same concepts out of all their packages.
We were basically running a form of our regular defense, 1 man, 1 hook, But when they were getting into situations of map protection or releasing 3 to 4 receivers, then we would drop our DNs.
We used to play him every year. We'd always drop Von back. And Von hit him in the chest, he would drop it. We were like, hey, Von, you got to catch it this week, right? We're going to set you up.
The coaching point all week from Coach Phillips was the zone turn, so I was just supposed to let him go and just float out here.
I was on Grunk. They thought I had him man-to-man. Von pushes him inside on the release. Oh, he thinks I got inside leverage. Soon as he runs that 7, guess who's sitting there? Von Miller.
Like Coach Phillips had called that play, said I was gonna get a pick on that play. Defensive coordinators and players say that stuff all the time, but it actually happened.
Wade told him, I'm gonna drop you. Tom Brady is gonna think something. He gonna throw the ball right to you. You gonna intercept it and you gonna score.
We talked a lot about that in the defensive room just because Von never drops. So I'm sure Tom Brady was just as surprised as everyone else was to see Von Miller dropping the coverage.
From the gun, throws, pass, gonna be intercepted. Von Miller at the 20. He fell down, but he's got the ball.
Tom Brady just threw it straight to me, and I had the ball and I knew I had the ball secure. I was running to the end zone, but I had kind of slipped up.
Now he did everything right. He popped out, he picked the ball off, he almost dropped it. But then he ain't finished though.
He caught it, he had his hands taped like this, so I'm really just happy he caught it.
Still was a great play, man, but we gave him a hard time.
He joined the no-fly zone. I think that was his. He also made some plays in the Super Bowl and coverage too, so he was an honorary member of the no-fly zone for sure.
Once again, this Broncos defense gives their team an opportunity to come back after a turnover.
It's crazy to think about all the stuff that happened in that AFC Championship game. Like, we played an incredible game on defense. I think that was the most times that Tom Brady had ever got hit.
Brady deep drop, flushed and hit as he throws, floats the ball, and Denver's got a pick, and Darian Stewart has it. Denver's defense continues to rock.
I was able to catch a pick from one of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever played. So, that was memorable. It came at a big time in the game.
That was a hectic game. It was crazy because we lost Stu early. We lost TJ.
And I hope it's not a reoccurring high ankle injury. Of course, that kept TJ out of the late regular season.
Being on the sideline during the fourth quarter, it hurt to be out the back end of that game.
I think Kayvon had to come in. We had Bush in. We had KO in. So we were scrambling.
Broncos have both A-gaps covered. Brady turns, play fake, pressured, throws, pass caught, but knocked down short. Denver holds.
I had to go play like dime and safety. I didn't know what to do. We were just, we were trying to cover these guys on the fly.
A lot of players who had not played in that game on defense had to go in on that last drive.
Tom threw a little over the middle Hail Mary, a mini 15-yard Hail Mary, and Grunt made a play on Chris, scored a touchdown. And they needed a 2-point conversion to tie that game up.
Everything that we had done in that game, it came down to a 2-point conversion try at the end of the game. It's crazy to even think about.
Tom versus us at the 2-yard line. One of the best secondaries versus the best quarterback with the Super Bowl on the line. Like, it don't get no more movie than that.
First game here in 2001. I've never heard it louder.
That AFC Championship game was the loudest and most energetic stadium I've ever been in.
Didn't you know that it had to come down to this? The Bronco defense once again on the field. They've been the leader of this team, and they're one stop away from heading to Super Bowl 50.
We kind of lined up wrong. We were scrambling a little bit, but what we did do is D. Ware got pressure on Tom.
2-point conversion for the tie. Snap to Brady. All out pressure. Brady rolling to his right.
I guess Julian flashed in his vision, and he tried to throw it across his body. I was on Jules, but I was able to get a hand on it.
When that ball went in the air, it got as loud as it's ever been and as quiet as it's ever been, because no one knew where that ball was going to land in whose hands.
Pass deflected and intercepted.
For Talib to tip it and we catch it, it was just crazy, man. It was just like, wow, like we're really doing it.
He took off running with it, and the whole time for me, I'm like, bro, just get down. We got the game won.
He has it, then he fumbled.
And the Patriots recover. What are they saying? No. 2-point conversion is no good. No good. It doesn't matter that he fumbled. Denver's gonna win this.
Clutch play, man. Sent us to the Super Bowl. Glad I was the one to be able to make it.
Man, that's the beauty of football, man. It's like so many emotions in 2 seconds.
Winning that AFC Championship game is very special because it really took the whole secondary to win that game.
I found myself remembering that game just as much as the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is played in 2 weeks. The game is played in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Guys, the game is won next week. Our preparation will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Guess what? We got one more, fellas. One more, baby. Mama, Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Most of our preparation came here in Denver. We wanted to get everything tight before we left.
We were very confident going in with the game plan. Coach Wade and them, they had a great game plan. We knew that Cam was gonna be tough. He was the MVP that year.
We knew we'd have our hands full, but when we got in that meeting room, Wade really showed us their whole rundown, and them boys had like 10 plays they really run. A lot of formations, but basically about 10 plays that they run.
There was nothing that they could do that we weren't prepared for. And if they did do something we weren't prepared for, it probably wouldn't be very successful.
We felt like when we got to San Francisco, we were already ready to go. We could play then.
Number 21, Akeem Talib.
First Super Bowl media day was chill. We were ready, so it was no pressure. We felt all the pressure was on Carolina. They were the favorites, they were this offense, they had the MVP. It was everything that they were supposed to do to us.
We love when you pub that offense to be the greatest thing ever, right? Because, I mean, it kind of take a little bit of pressure off us. So
we figured that we would be the underdogs just because we were underdogs the whole playoffs. I can't remember what game we were picked to win.
Had a chip on the shoulder, and that chip was on the shoulder the whole season, right? We just learned how to win.
Everything was going to be in response to what the Carolina Panthers did to the Denver Broncos, and there was nothing the Denver Broncos could do. That was the story. So guess what? Since we can't do nothing, there's no point of worrying. We're just going to sit back, relax, and get ready for the game.
Boy, live, man. Super Bowl 50, man. I'm dripping, man.
These Super Bowl interviews, and it's never ending, so you just better have fun with it, right? So I remember they asked me something about Wade, and you know, Wade was just right there, so I brought him in the interview.
All right, let's go. Hey, now, am I dripping or tripping or what?
Let me get you dripping real quick.
Okay, here we go.
He just always ready to participate in whatever we're trying to do.
Get you dripping real quick.
Now we're dripping.
Now we dripping.
Now we're dripping.
Now we...
I mean, we just wanted to put some ice on Wade, let him feel like one of the players for a day, man.
Roby?
Yeah. Think he's gonna be all pro one day?
If he follows you guys, he will.
Follow us, he watched that tape, he will be right there.
That's right.
Signing off Broncos TV.
All right.
Dripping, baby.
I gotta tell a story, funny story about, Akeem Talib and the no-fly zone, Chris Harris. We had a table in our locker room where we used to play Uno, Connect Four, Dominoes. And the confidence came from Akeem Talib. He said, man, I'm gonna have 2 picks and I'm gonna take 2 to the crib. I'm gonna get the MVP. It started with him, then it ran around the table, and Emmanuel was like, the MVP go to offensive guys.
Everybody wanted to be the MVP of the Super Bowl, and we all had the capabilities to be the MVP of the Super Bowl.
I was like, man, y'all crazy, bro. I'm about to get a couple sack force fumbles. I'm gonna end the game, and I'm gonna get Super Bowl MVP, and I'm gonna go crazy all season.
Usually we have a bunch of music playing, rap music. Vaughn had the techno on, the intergalactic. He just had it banging in the locker room. That's just the vibe that we was on. It was different.
No fly zone in the building. Super Bowl 50. It's on us on the D, baby. We gotta continue to be dominant.
That moment is something that I always remember. Like, we were just sitting there just bullshit. And it came from the confidence of the no-fly zone that just trickled down to everybody on that defense and to everybody else on that team.
I'm looking in boys' eyes, man. Let me look in your eyes. Who's scared? Who ready to play, man? Who ready to play? I mean, I just kind of trying to breed that confidence in the locker room. If I'm this nervous, I know how guys are feeling, so let me try to walk around and lighten this thing up a little bit. Next thing you know, we was going out there ready to play.
Specific memories from the game was just how beautiful a day it was. When I ran out, almost bumped into Usher. I was like, damn, I'm in the Super Bowl.
The antics and the flyover, the crowd, celebrities on the sideline. You'll have a little butterflies, a little nervousness, but there's nothing really that's gonna shake you or rattle you because I'm prepared, man. I know that I put everything into this.
And we were just ready, man. We were ready in a spiritual way. You know what I mean? We were really ready for that game. And then the guys from Carolina, they come out dabbing in the team picture, and it's just like, who do y'all think y'all about to play? This not no Disneyland ride. Like, y'all not about to win, bro. Like, what are y'all doing?
They're more of I would say, not a cocky team, a confident team. They're rolling, they're killing everybody. So we knew that they weren't going to change, and they did exactly what we studied on film.
It was good playing against those guys, man. We wanted them to get all the love, and then we wanted to come smack them in their face real quick, man.
4-man rush, Newton in the pocket, he's hit and sacked inside the 5. The ball is free. Denver's got it. Touchdown, Denver. Ware knocks him around, but he's going to be sacked. Darian Stewart.
I had the running back, and so running back stayed in to block. I just added, lane opened up, parted like the Red Sea, was able to go sack the quarterback.
Darian Stewart went down and met the 260-pound Tolbert.
We knew we still had work to do. When you have a group like we had, you're supposed to win it.
And that will take us to halftime of Super Bowl 50.
Third, fourth, I started cramping. Had to come off the field, and that was right when TJ got the pick.
Newton drops deep, throws the ball over the middle, into and out of the hands again, and intercepted by TJ Ward. Ward goes down, slips, gets back up, and he fumbles the football.
Thank God my dog Danny Trey is one of those guys that ran to the ball every day in practice, whether it was 5 feet away or 50 yards away. And that's why he recovered that fumble, man. Thank you, Danny Trey.
TJ gets the Ward, gets the interception. I'm like, oh yeah, we got to pick. I was like, yo, hurry up, I got to get out there, you know. I finally get back, we go back on defense, and right after that, I get a third down stop versus Ted.
And Denver's defense again comes up with a huge stop.
I remember TJ, he went crazy as well, fumble recovery. But I know we talk about TJ all the time, like, bro, you should have scored that, you should have scored that.
Man, those probably two of the best and worst plays of my life.
In the pocket is Newton. He pumps, the ball's knocked out of his hands, it bounces around. TJ Ward's got the ball.
I don't know what the referee was doing, so I take a false step and I slip. If y'all want to know why I didn't score on that, that's why.
Handoff, C.J. Anderson, left guard. Second effort to the goal line. Touchdown, Denver.
CJ got a touchdown in the Super Bowl, my dog.
The Denver Broncos are world champions. They have just won Super Bowl 50, and Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
It felt so good when the confetti started falling.
It was like everybody disappeared. It was weird. It's like you can't really find anybody in this confetti.
You know, that's what brought me to Denver. That was the mission, just winning Super Bowl 50.
I still feel the effects of, the Super Bowl. I get a little tingly sometimes because we went through a lot to get there.
To look back on it and kind of reflect on all the good that we did, all the great moments that we shared, and shout out to the No-Fly Zone.
Lots of moments and memories with the No-Fly Zone. I was really lucky to call all those guys teammates.
The way that we did it, it wasn't easy, and I was just so full of joy, man, to be able to bring one back to Broncos country and have my name submitted with those older guys, Rod, Sharp, and those guys, be able to have a banner up there with them.
Oh, see, so now when I come back to Denver, you're like a king out here almost, and you was a major part of the chip, so it kind of really stamped the No-Fly Zone. We know where we go now, so you got to win to do that.